Hi, good morning, online students. Please check my voice is clear. Yeah. Please you mute your mic so we can start the session. Good morning, everyone. Shall we start our class? So regarding the last class, yesterday class, any doubt, any question? The last class we discussed permissions. We seen by using permissions we can allow the user to access the resources, or we can deny the user to access the resources. And we seen there are two types of permissions are there: security level permission and share level permission. So if your data is available in local hard disk, if you want to secure or you want to allow the specific user to access, you have to apply security level permission, right? And if you want to allow the user to access the data from the network, right, with the permissions, we have to apply sharing level permission. And which user is having right to access the share folder, only that user can access. And the shared data is going to store in centralized place in storage in our server, and the user can access from the network by sitting on any machine there. Okay, so today we have our next topic we are going to discuss, that is a profile. So please write down the heading. Today our topic is profiles. Now if anyone is asking to you in interview, sir, give your profile, show your profile, so what our profile contain? Our profile contain our personal information. What information? Our certification, our offer letters, our experience letters, our important documents, our pictures, that is available in our profile. So what is profile in our Active Directory? What is profile in our domain model? So in our domain model, the profile means desktop here. Profile means desktop, right? So in our domain model, in our Active Directory, profile means desktop. So what is desktop here? If any user or any administrator is logging to any computer, if any administrator is logging to computer, we require complete desktop or not here? We require a screen, right? We require desktop. So then only we can work. So example, to this machine, I logged as a Ahmed, right, as a user. So now tell me, on the screen, I require complete desktop or not here, right? If I have a desktop, I can change the wallpaper. If I have a desktop, I can go to the computer, I can access the drive. If I have a desktop, I can go to the start button, I can access this machine application. If I have a desktop, by sitting on this computer, I can access other computer data, right? So this is called desktop. So whenever as a user or as an administrator, if I am logging to this computer, I require a desktop. So this complete desktop is called profile here. It's called what here? Profile. So if anyone is asking to you in MCSC exam, when you're writing for 11 exam, it will ask this question, or when you go to the interview, it will ask this question, sir, what is profile? What is profile? So you have to say, sir, in our Active Directory, in our domain model, profile means desktop here. Profile means desktop here. But the question is what? Who is creating a desktop for users? Example, right now we are working on domain model. The system one is my server, is a DC by the help of Active Directory. And as an administrator in system 1 server, I created the user account, user 1, user 2 and user 3. And in my network, we have number of machines, example 100 machines like system 2, system 3, system 4, system 5. So this is a domain model. And in domain model, the users can log into any client computer or not here? Yes. So now, as an administrator, I created the user account in server by the name user 1. And the user 1 want to log into the system 2 client machine. So whenever the user 1 is logging to the system 2 client machine, is typing his name and password, press enter. Right? So this user account is not available in local hard disk. The user account is available in server, and your server is responsible for authentication, right? So my question is what? Whenever this user is logging to this machine as a user 1, I'm logging to this computer. We require one desktop or not here? We require desktop here, right? So we require profile. So my question is what? Who is creating a profile for users? Right? 3 options are there. Question is what? Whenever the first time my user is logging to the client computer, right? So who is creating a desktop for user? First, your administrator. Second option is server. Third option is your client operating system. Your client operating system. Why not admin? What is the job of admin? As administrator, just we are going to server and we are creating the user accounts. Our job is done. What is the work of server? Whenever the client is sending the name and password to server to confirm, right? The server is giving authentication. But actually, who is allowing the user to log in? A client computer is logging, right? So whenever the user is logging to this system to client computer operating system, and in this machine I'm using XP, you can use any operating system. Whenever the first time a user is logging to this machine, the client is taking name and password, the client is requesting to server is giving authentication back to the client, then user is logging to this machine. So this machine operating system is creating one profile for my user. This machine operating system is creating one profile, and this profile, this desktop, right? So this desktop is created by your client operating system. So it means whenever the first time my user is logging to any computer, this computer operating system is creating one desktop, is creating one profile for my users here, and this profile is created by client operating system, and the profile is storing in local hard disk. The location is what? In C drive you can find one folder. That folder name is users. Earlier this folder name is document and settings. This folder name is what here? Document and settings. But now this folder name is what here? Users here. So whenever the first time a user is talking to this client machine operating system is creating one desktop, is creating one profile for user, and this profile is going to store in local hard disk. The location is C users. So basically this folder is empty folder, but once I log in as a user 1, inside this folder one folder will create by the name of user 1. So this user 1 folder is called user 1 profile folder here, right? So what is a good thing in profile? So first of all, profile means desktop. Whenever the first time my user is logging to client machine, this client machine operating system is creating one profile for my user. Now what is the use of the profile? What is the benefit of this profile here? So example, as a user I log to this machine, right? After logging to this machine as a user, by using internet, by using applications, will generate the data or not here? So I'm generating the data for my organization here. So whenever I'm creating some data by sitting on this computer, basically once I click save, so this data is going to save in which machine hard disk? In system to client machine hard disk, or is going to save in server hard disk, or in other client machine hard disk here? In system to client machine hard disk, in local drives. So example, as a user 1, I log to this computer, I am storing the data maybe in C drive or E drive, right? So my data is available in local hard disk of system 2. But my question is what? This data is created by user 1, is going to store in local drive of this machine, E drive. But this data is secure? No, this data is not secure. By default on the drive permission is everyone, full control. On data folder, on file 1, file 2, file 3, which is created by user 1, the permission is everyone, full control. So next day, if I log as a user 2 here, if next day on this computer, if I'm logging as a user 2, right? So now tell me, as a user 2, can I access E drive? Can I access user 1 data? Can I copy some files? Can I delete some files? Can I modify the files? Yes. So now tell me, the data is secure? No. So the user 1 is requesting to administrator, sir, I created some data in this machine, in this E drive, and this data is not secure, sir, right? Maybe someday, next day, maybe some other user is sitting and is corrupted my data, is deleted my important files here, right? So user is requesting to admin, sir, please make my data secure, right? So as a user itself, can we apply the restrictions here? Can we secure our data ourselves? Can we deny to others? No. Option is not available. The last class we seen, the user itself cannot restrict their own data there, right? So if you want to restrict this data, we have to apply security level permission, and the security level permission will apply by administrator, by the help of admin. So tell to the admin, come to this machine, deny to all, right, and allow to user 1 only. So then user 1 only can access, other user cannot access. So it means always the user has to take the help of administrator to secure the data. But this time my user is requesting to admin, sir, without your help, I'm sitting on the client machine, I want to make my data myself secure, right? The user is requesting to admin, sir, without your help, right? Always I will not call to you, right, to secure this data. Without your help, I want to make my data myself secure. So then tell to the user, sir, if you want to make your data yourself secure, so don't store the data directly in the drive. Don't store the data in drive. Store the data on desktop. Store the data on desktop. Store the data on profile items here. Now what profile content? You can see here. When I'm logging as a user or administrator in this machine, so this computer is created one profile for me. So as a user, if I go to the computer, if I go to the drive, if I create one folder here, so example, I'm creating one folder by the name of data 2, right? Now tell me, who can access this folder? Anyone can access. So tell to the user, say, don't store the data on drives there. right? This is not secure. So store the data on desktop. Desktop means profile. So you can see this folder is called profile folder here. Whenever as a user, as a admin, I'm logging, one folder is creating. This is called profile folder. So tell to the user, store the on desktop, store the data in profile items, and profile contain this many items. If you open this profile folder here, you can find here there are so many items are available, right? So like contact is there, desktop is there, document is there, download is there, favorites are there, links are there, music is there, picture is there, videos are there, search is there, game is there. So if the user is storing the data in this many items here, so this data is going to store in that particular user profile here, right? And remember here, one user cannot access other user profile. One user cannot access other user profile. So it means if the user data is available in profile, so that data is secure here, right? That data is secure here. One user cannot access other user, and all the user profiles are storing in local hard disk. The location is what? If you open the computer, if you open the C drive, and we have one folder users. If you open the users folder, you can find the user profile. But are you finding user 1, user 2, user 3 folder here? No, because till now the user is not logged to this machine. Once I log in, automatically one folder will create by the name of user 1 and user 2. But remember here, the profiles are secure. One user cannot access other user profiles here. So tell to the user, said don't store the data in local drive, sir. Store the data on desktop, store the data in document, store the data in videos, store the data in profile here. Okay. So this profile data is storing in local hard disk of this computer here, okay, and this profile is created by local computer. But assume it next day, right, the user 2 is logging to this machine. So example here, next day the user 2 want to log into this computer. Can I log in as a user 2 here? But tell me, when I'm logging as a user 2, this system to XP machine operating system will give the new profile to user 2, or it will give the user 1 profile to user 2? It will give the new profile. So whenever the first time the user is logging to this machine, the user is getting what here? New profile here. So it means as a user 2, I can go to E drive, I can access user 1 data, no restriction. But as a user 2, I cannot access desktop data of user 1 here. That is a secure here. So the profiles are secure, and this profile, right, storing in the computer local hard disk here. One user cannot access other user profile here. Okay, so you can see here. So for today's session, for today lab, we require 2 machines here. The system 1 is our server and system 2 is our client. And once again, you have to start your practical with creating user accounts here, right? So we logged as an administrator in my DC. I need some user accounts, so I'm going to the tools, open the ADUC console to manage the accounts. So we need some user accounts here. So example, I'm creating some user accounts here by the name of user 1, user 2, user 3 and user 4. So in the lab, in the machines, in the server, if you have user account, that is good. If it is not there, you have to create the user accounts. Now after the user account is created, tell to the user log into any client machine here. So my user is logging to this machine here, right? So switch this administrator and log in as a user here. So the username is user 1, password is blank, enter. So you can see here, the request is going to server, server is giving authentication, but this client machine operating system is creating one profile for my user here. So we logged as a user 1 here. So if you like, you can get the desktop icons for this user. And you can see once I click OK, you can find one folder by the name of user 1. So this is called user 1 profile folder. By seeing this name, you can say, okay, this guy, this user is working on this machine. So as a user 1, I can go to the computer, I can open the E drive, I can create one folder here. So I'm creating one folder by the name of folder 1, and this folder 1 is created by user 1. But who can access this folder? Anyone can access, there is no restriction. So the user is requesting, the admin is requesting to user, sir, if you want to make yourself, your data secure, store the data on desktop here. Can we store some data on desktop here? Yes. So if I store some data on desktop here, so this data is going to store in which account? In user 1 profile account. So not only desktop, you can store the data in profile items here, like you have contact, you have desktop, you have downloads, favorites, right, are there. So example, the user 1 is downloading some maps from internet, is downloading some maps, and this maps folder is going to store in download folder in which account? User 1 account here, right? So this data is secured here. So after my job is done, can we sign out this machine? Yes. So once I sign out, so this data is going to store in my in user 1 profile in system 2 local hard disk here, right? And next day, can I log in as a user 1 again? Can I find my same desktop here? Yes. So when I'm logging to this machine is not creating new profile for me. It's saying already your profile is there and you can access. And all the user profiles are storing in computer in local hard disk of C drive. You can go to the users. Now, are you finding one folder is created by the name of user 1? Yes, right? Once I log in, automatically one folder is created. And as a user 1, can I check my profile? Can I check my desktop? Yes, you can check your profile items, you can check your desktop data, and you can check your download data also, right? So as a user 1, I can access my profile, but as a user 1, I cannot access other user profiles. So basically, the profiles are secure. One user cannot access other user profiles. So once you sign out, your data is going to store in system 2 local hard disk here. Okay, so that's why the Microsoft is saying profile is the desktop. Whenever the first time the user is logging to any machine, that machine operating system is creating the profile for user, and the profile contain user personal settings here, that is called user state environment, and that personal settings, user settings, contain document, desktop, start, shortcut, application, download, music, picture. If the user is storing the data in this many items, that is going to store in that particular user profile here. Okay, so please copy this slide. Any operating system, sir, by using XP, Vista, Windows 7, by using any operating system you're logging, that machine operating system is creating one profile desktop for you. Yes, sir. In all operating system, I'm not saying only one XP. When you're logging to any operating system, client machine, that profile is secure. One user cannot access other user profile. So who is creating the profile for user? Administrator? Client operating system, not administrator. Don't say administrator there, right? So whenever the first time a user is logging to any client machine, that client machine operating system is creating a profile for user, not admin. Just admin is creating the user account. Server is giving authentication, but whenever the user is logging to any client operating system, that client operating system, that machine client operating system is creating one profile for user. And the profile contain user person setting this many items. If the user is storing the data in this many items, that is going to store in that particular user profile, right? And one user cannot access other user profile here, right? And the profiles location is what? Default location is what? Local hard disk, C, users here, okay? But the question is what? How many types of profiles we have here? So write down types of profiles. types of profiles. The first one we have, right on the first one, local profile, and the second one is roaming profile here. The first one we have local profile, and the second one we have roaming profile. So there are two types of profiles are there, local and roaming. So first we'll see what is local profile, then we'll go to the next one, what is roaming profile here. So write down the heading local profile and copy this slide. Done, over. Now we'll see the first one, what is local profile, and as administrator what hard work we have to do to create the local profile for our users here. So as administrator what we have to do, right now you can see this is my server and we have number of machine as a client. Now to create a local profile for user, as administrator we have to do one hard work. Just as admin, log into the server and go to the ADUC console and create the user accounts, right? After the user accounts are created, so tell to the user 1, said this is your credential, name and password. Tell to the user 2, this is your credential, this is your name and password. User 3, this is name and password. And tell to the user, sir, in our network we have nearly 100 clients, you can log into any client computer. So it means to create the local profile for user as admin, just go to the server and create the user accounts and tell to the user log on to any client machine. So when the first time my user 1 is logging to this system to XP machine or any operating system machine, right? So when the user is logging, once you type your name and password, once you press enter, the client machine will take your name and password. By the help of Kerberos protocol, the client will send the request to server. Server is giving authentication back to the client. So this client machine operating system is creating one profile for user, right? And this profile is created by client operating system, and this profile is storing in local hard disk C user. So this profile is storing local hard disk, so that's why this profile is called local profile. So the local profile is created by your client operating system whenever the first time the user is to logging to this machine, and the local profile data and profile data is storing in C in users. This is a location. And as a user on desktop, on documents, in videos, music, picture, right? If I save something and after my job is done, if I sign out, so this data is going to store in my account in the user 1 profile in local hard disk, right? So next day, can I log in as a user 2 here? Yes, we can log in as a user 2, but tell me the system to XP machine operating system, will give the user 1 profile to user 2, or user 2 will get the new profile? User 2 will get the new profile. User 2 is not getting user 1 profile. So profiles are secure and the profile data is secured here, right? And one user cannot access other user profile here, right? And the profiles are storing in this location. Location is what here? C users, right? But in previous operating system, location is what here? In C drive we have document and setting. This is the previous location, but now location is what here? C users, right? So that's why you can see in the slide is written, a local user profile is created by first time you log on to any computer and storing on the computer local hard disk. Any changes made to your local user profile are specific on the computer on which you made the changes. Example, next day, the user 1 is coming, is saying, sir, my project data, right? My project data is available in desktop, on user 1 desktop, because for security reason I am storing the data in desktop, in documents, right? In videos, in music, picture, in profile items here, and not storing the local hard disk, not in the local drive here. So next day the user is requesting to admin, sir, which computer I have to use to access my existing profile, to access my existing. So as the administrator, what we have to say? Sir, use any machine, you will get existing profile? No. So tell to the user 1, said the last 1 week you are sitting on system 2 client machine, right? So go to the system 2 client machine, log in as a user 1, and you can find your existing desktop. You can find your existing desktop, you can existing profile data is available, you can access. And if you do again changes, if you sign out, is going to store in local hard disk of system 2 in your profile, okay? But example, next day this machine is busy as a user 1. Can I log into system 5 client computer? Yes. But tell me, the system 5 client computer operating system will give the new profile or existing profile? It will give the new local profile here. So it means whenever the user change their computer, the user is not getting existing profile. The user is getting what here? New profile, right? So this is a drawback we have, right? The good feature is what? If the user want to access existing profile, user has to log on to the same machine, and you can find the existing profile, and the profiles are secure. One user cannot access other user profile here, okay? So please write down, our first lab today is creating local profile. So today our first lab is creating local profile. So please write down, in system 1 server, write down the steps. In system 1 server, log in as an administrator. In system 1 server, log in as a administrator. Next point, write down, open the ADUC console, Active Directory users and computers. Open the ADUC console and create some user accounts. Open the ADUC console and create some user accounts. And already we know how to create the user accounts, but when you go to the lab, in ADUC console in server, accounts are not there. Once again, you have to start your practical with creating user accounts, and we know how to create the accounts with password or without password. So what is the last point? Open the ADUC console and create some user accounts. Example, user 1, user 2, user 3. Example, user 1, user 2, user 3. Or you can create the user account by any name. So first I will complete this one. So as administrator, I am logging to my server. So this is my server, system 1. I logged as administrator, open the ADUC console and create some user accounts here. And already I created some accounts here. You can see we have user 1, user 2, user 3 and user 4 here. And there is no password for these users here. Now then write down verification. Verification in system 2 client computer. In system 2 client computer, log in as a user 1 user. In system 2 client computer, log in as a user 1 user. In system 2 client computer, log in as a user 1 user. The next point, write down, create some data on desktop. Create some data on desktop. Desktop means your profile items here. So whenever I use the word here, desktop, so that is your profile items, okay? Create some data on desktop. The next point, write down third one. Check the type of profile. Check the type of profile dash local. So as a user, we can check ourselves. Right now we are carrying which type of profile, maybe local or maybe a roaming. We have one method, we have one procedure. When I'm coming to the verification, I will show you what is the method procedure we have to follow. As a user myself, I want to know which type of profile I'm carrying. Okay. So this is our verification. So you can see here, in our server we created the user accounts. Now as a user, I'm going to the client machine. I'm logging as a user here. So press Ctrl or delete. This is my system 2 is client. Go to other user, type the username. That is a user 1. Password is blank, enter. This computer operating system is created one profile for me. So as a user, I can go to the computer, I can go to the E drive, I can create one folder by the name of folder 1, right? And in that we have some files also we created here, right? So now tell me, this data is secure? No, this data is not secure, this one, okay? But user is requesting to admin, admin is requesting to user, say store the data on desktop here. So as a user, can I create some data on desktop here? Yes, right? And this data is going to store in user. Not only desktop, you can go to your profile folder, that is user 1, and you can store the data in this main items. Example, as a user, I'm going to my document. In my document, I'm creating one folder here by the name of doc1, right? And this doc1 document folder is going to store in my documents. In which account? In which profile? User 1 here, right? Now this is called user 1. As a user 1, I can go to computer, I can go to the C drive, I can open the users, and as a user 1, I can open my profile folder also. I can check what my profile contain. The profile contain this many items here. Can I check what data is available in my document? Yes, we can check. As a user 1, I can check my profile. I can check what data is available in my downloads. I can check what data is available in desktop here, right? But as a user 1, I want to know this one. I'm carrying which profile, maybe local or roaming, right? And the user can check itself. So if you want to know as a user I'm carrying which profile, local or roaming, on the desktop, are you finding control panel? Yes, by using this control panel option, we can check which type of profile I am carrying there, right? So please write down next line. Login as a user 1. Login as a user 1. Login as a user 1. Then write the next line. Open the control panel. Open the control panel. So on desktop you can find control panel. Open the control panel. Once you double click, the control panel will open, right? And you can see in control panel right side on the top, are you finding search box? In search box you have to type profile. What we have to type? Profile. If you type the profile by using that option, we can check the type of profile. So write down in search box, type dash profile. In search box, type dash profile. And you can see here when I'm typing profile, the options will change here. You can type the name in capital letters, small letters, no problem. We have to type what? Profile. Profile. Okay. Once you type the profile, now you can see options are changed. Are you finding system? In system, are you finding configure advanced user profile properties? By using this option, you can check what type of profile now you are carrying. So please write down next line. Click on configure advanced. Click on configure advanced user profile properties. Click on configure advanced user profile properties. The next line, write down check the type of profile. Next line, check the type of profile dash local. Check the type of profile dash local. Check the type of profile dash local. So once again, see here what we have to do. We have to open the control panel and we have to type what here in search box? Profile. And we have to click on configure advanced user profile properties, and new page is open and we are checking the status of user 1 which belongs to Zoom. And you can see here, you can see type is what here? Local. Status is what? Local. If the type and status is local, this profile is called what here? Local profile here. Now after my job is done, can I sign out this machine? Yes. Once you sign out, my profile data is going to store in my system 2 local hard disk. So next day, can I log in as a user 2 here? Yes. But tell me, when I'm logging as a user 2 to this machine, this computer operating system will give the new profile or user 1 profile to user 2? New profile here. So whenever the first time any new user is logging, so this computer is creating the new profile for that user. So you can see here the user 2 is not getting user 1 desktop data. It's getting a new profile here. You can collect the desktop icons. Right? We logged as a user 2. Right? But as a user 2, can I go to computer? Can I go to E drive? Can I access user 1 folder? Yes, we can access. User 1 data also we can access. Any restriction is there? No. But as a user 2, I know that by taking instruction from administrator, the user 1 has stored some data in profile items on desktop, in documents, and the user 2 know that where the profile is storing and how to access this one. So as a user 2, can I go to computer? Yes. Can I open the C drive? Yes. Can I open the users folder where the profiles are there? Yes, you can open. So as a user 2, I am trying to open which profile? User 1 profile. Can we open? No, sir. Once you double click, you are getting error here. What is error? You do not currently have permission to access this folder. User 2 cannot access user 1 profile. So it means by default profiles are secure. One user cannot access other user profile here. But as a user 2, can I access my profile? Yes. We can check what data is available on desktop. We can access. And the profile contains this many items. If you store the data, is going to store in that particular user profile account here. Okay. Now after your job is done, we can sign out, and the profile is going to store in local hard disk. Right? So this is called a local profile here. So till now we have seen local profile is created by client operating system, and the profiles are secure. One user cannot access other user profile. This is a good thing. And next day if you log on to same machine, can you find your existing profile? Yes. Can you find the same desktop data? Yes, you can continue your work there. Okay. But what is the limitation? What is the drawback here? Always user has to use the same machine, existing machine, to access the existing profile here. Right? If the user is logging to other machine, like as a user 1, I log to the system 10 machine. So the system 10 client operating system is giving the new profile or existing profile here? Is giving the new profile. So it means your profile is not existing if you change the machine. One. Next drawback is what? If one day, if this machine hard disk, system 2 machine hard disk, burn or damage, is burn or damage. So it means as a user I can log into other machine, right? I'm a domain user, I can log in. But what about if your hard disk burn, damage, your machine is not working, so your profile is lost, and your profile data is what? Completely lost here, right? But now the user is coming, is requesting to admin, sir, I'm working on project, and in our network we have nearly 100 client machines, right? I'm a domain user, and the user is saying, sir, for security reason I'm not storing the data in local drive, sir. I'm storing the data on desktop. I'm storing the data in profile items here. By you taking instruction, I'm storing there. So the user is saying, sir, when I'm storing the data in desktop, document, videos, but this data is available in local hard disk, sir. If I'm logging to next day on same machine, I'm getting the existing profile. But when I'm changing the machine, I'm not getting existing profile there. So the user is requesting to admin, sir, whenever I change the computer, daily I'm not sitting on one machine. Whenever I change the computer, I want existing profile. I want existing. Same desktop data, same profile data I need. One. Second thing, the user is requesting to admin, sir, my profile should not store in local hard disk, sir. My profile should not store in local hard disk. My profile has to store in centralized place. Example, in server. If the profile is available in server, right, whenever the user log on to any machine, user can find existing profile. And whenever the user is doing some changes on the profile on desktop, documents, videos, picture, once you sign out, so this profile is going to upload on server. So next day if this system 2 is not working, user can log into other client machine. Can you find the same desktop or not here? So it means the user is requesting for roaming profile. User is requesting for roaming. The user is saying, I need roaming profile. So what is the meaning of roaming here? Like, if you take the example of mobile, when the first mobile is came in the Hyderabad, in our state, like 10 years back example, okay? So we have a right to make incoming, outgoing call within the city only, within the Hyderabad. We can make the calls, we can receive the calls. But if you change the state, if you change the country, can you make the calls, can you receive the calls? No, option is not there. So this is called what? Local feature here, right? But after some time, the companies, the mobile network companies are providing roaming feature here. So what is the roaming? If you purchase the SIM in Hyderabad, if you change the area, if you change the state, or if you change the country, still can you make the calls? Can you receive the calls? Yes. So this is called what here? Roaming. So what is roaming? Wherever you go, your network is following. Yes or no? The same thing the user is saying, sir, whenever I change the computer, I want same desktop data there, right? So the user is requesting for roaming profile, and remember here, the user itself cannot change the profile local to roaming. Option is not available, and by default all the users are getting local profile. By default all the user is getting local profile. If the user need roaming profile, user has to request to administrator, and as the administrator will create the roaming profile, and the roaming profile data is going to store on server there, right? It's going to store on server, and the roaming profile will not create for all users. We can create for all users, no problem there, but your server storage is, we require big storage, then we can store the roaming profile. But roaming profile in the real time, we are creating only for selected users. We are creating only for select which users are working on projects, or for HR people, for IT people, or for your boss. We are going for the roaming profile, or for project users we are going for roaming profile here, right? So please write down the heading. Next topic, roaming profile, and please copy this slide. Zubair, are you getting the screen? Can you see my full screen?
Yes, sir. I'm able to see the roaming profile window.
Okay.
Just
Fine.
roaming profile user is created by system admin.
Okay, okay. Right. Thank you. Is done. Now we are going for the next topic, that is how to create the roaming profile for user here. Now first of all, the roaming profile is created by your system administrator and is going to store in server hard disk. If any user need a roaming profile, user has to request to Administrator as admin will create the roaming profile. But when you're creating the roaming profile, we have some 3 requirements. We have to fulfill this requirement, then we can give the roaming profile to our user. Now what is the requirement? The first requirement is we require user accounts. We require user accounts. So in our server, we have a user account, user 1, user 2, user 3, like this, okay? And the roaming profile data is storing in server, right? So in server, we require one share folder. We require one share folder, because the last class we seen, by sitting on other machine, if I want to access other machine data, by sitting on system 2, if I want to access system 1 data, right? So in system 1, we require one share folder or not here. So by sitting on system 2, if I store something, that is going to store in my system 1 hard disk here. So in system 1, we require one share folder. And the last class, we created one share folder by the name sales. But the last class, we created this share folder for files and for applications. So that time when we are sharing this folder, we given the permission user 1 read, user 2 read and write. So this permission, but this folder last class we created for files and application. But now we require one share folder in server to store the profiles, and profile contains user personal settings, user personal data, and profiles are secure, right? One user cannot access other user profile. So create one share folder by any name, but don't create the share folder by username there, okay? So I'm creating one share folder by the name Roam. And when you're sharing this folder, we have some conditions here. So when you're sharing this folder, we have to give the permission, that is everyone read and write permission. Everyone read and write. And this folder should be empty share folder. Inside this share folder, don't create the folders. Inside this share folder, don't create the files, because we are not using this share folder for files and applications. We are using this share folder to store the profiles here, right? So that's why when you're sharing this folder, we have to give the common permission, everyone read and write, because I want to store the users, multiple users profiles here. But remember here, maybe a local or roaming, profiles are secure. One user cannot access other user profiles here, okay? So we need one share folder, and the permission should be what? Everyone read and write, and this folder should be empty, okay? But how my client is going to know that, how my server is going to know that this user profile should not store in local hard disk, this profile has to store in server hard disk. So the condition is what? Now we have to go to the, as admin, go to the server, open the ADUC console and go to that particular user properties to which user you want to create a profile. So go to this user, user 1 properties, right? So what we are doing, we are going to the ADUC console, we are going to the user 1 properties. So in user 1 properties, we have one option, one tab that is called profile. It's called what here? Profile. In profile tab, you can find one option. That option is called profile path. Basically, this box is empty. This box is what here? Empty. We have to fill this box. And how to fill this box? We have to type UNC path, universal naming convention path, universal naming convention. And the last class, I have given 2 commands to you. Universal UNC path, that is double backslash sys1 slash sales, double backslash IP address, right, 10.0.1 slash share folder name, okay? But here we have to give the path, we are giving the roaming path. So Microsoft is saying when you're giving the roaming path, use the network path, use the UNC path by system name, don't use the IP address, because IP address maybe we can change. So when you're giving the roaming path, right, to user, right, in user properties, we have to use the system name here, right? So what is the roaming path? We have, what we have to type UNC path here, double backslash, then sys1 slash share folder name, that is roam, slash username also we have to type there, okay? But remember here, don't type the client machine name. Some of the students will say, sir, why you're not typing client machine name? Because the user is sitting on client. But tell me, the user is sitting on client, that is okay, but the user profile is storing in client machine or in server? Server. So we have to type the share folder machine name there. So we have to type here path, double backslash, system 1, where the share folder is created, then single backslash, share folder name, roam, then single backslash, username, that is user 1. We are in user 1 properties, and click on OK. So once you click OK, apply, your roaming path is set. Now tell to the user, sir, if you already are working, sign out and sign in. So once you sign in this machine, once you press enter, the client will check your name and password. It will forward the request to server. Server will confirm the name and password. At the same time, the server will check the user properties. In user properties, already we given the instructions Don't store the user profile now in local hard disk, right? In which account? In C, users, right? So now you store the user profile in server. So automatically inside this folder, ROM folder, one folder will create by the name of user1. So now tell me, the user1 profile is available in local hard disk or is available in server now? Is available in server, right? Now tell to the user, store the data on your profile items, desktop, document, videos, music, picture. Now after your job is done, store the profile in server. How to store the complete profile data in server? How to upload the profile in server? The condition is log off or sign out or shut down. Log off, sign out or shut down. So once you log off, once you sign out, once you shut down, your profile is going to store on server. So it means before sign outing, before shutdowning, your profile also is available in local hard disk temporary, is available in local hard disk. But once you sign out, your profile is going to store in server. Complete profile is available in server, right? So that's why you can see in the second line is written, this profile is available every time you log on to any computer on the network. Changes made to your roaming user profile are updated on server here. So it means next day this machine is busy or this machine is not working, system 2. So as a user 1, can I log into the next machine like system 4? Can I log in here? Yes. But tell me, this client computer operating system will give the new profile or existing profile? Existing. The client will send the name and password to server, and the server will tell to the client, said don't create the new profile. Already the profile is available in server. So this time the profile is downloading from server to client. The profile is downloading from server to client. So when the profile is downloading from server to client, the profile is existing. So desktop also is what? Existing. You can find the same desktop data. Can I do again changes here? Yes. So on my desktop, on my profile, if I do any changes, if you want to update, we have to log off. So once you log off, your profile automatically is going to update it on server there, right? So your profile is what here? Existing. So next day, I don't want to log into system 2. I don't want to log into system 4. I want to log into system 10 machine. As a user, can I log into system 10 machine? Yes. Can you find existing profile or the new profile? Existing. So this profile is called what here? Roaming. Whenever the user change the computer, you can find the same existing profile. And this roaming profile is created by your system administrator, and we are creating for selected users, not for all users, because these profiles are storing on server. And the roaming profile also is secure. One user cannot access other user profile there. Okay? Any doubt? So we'll see now our next lab, how to create the roaming profile for users. So please write down our next lab, creating roaming profile. Creating roaming profile. Okay. So please write down, in system 1 server, login as administrator. In system 1 server, login as a administrator. Okay. Next point, write down, open the E drive. Open the E drive. Open the E drive. Create one new share folder by the name ROM, R-O-A-M. Create one new share folder by the name ROM. Create one new share folder by the name ROM, R-O-M. Okay. Dash permission everyone read and write. Dash permission everyone read and write. Dash permission everyone read and write. Okay, so already we know how to create the share folder, right? And how to give the permission everyone read and write. So when you creating the share folder, we have to give the common permission everyone read and write, and this folder should be empty share folder here. Okay, we'll complete this one first. So I'm going to server now, but check the server system name, right click on computer icon, go to the properties, and you can say this is my system 1, right? Domain name is zoom.com here. Okay, now open the computer and open the drive, that is we have E drive here, and create one new folder here. Don't use the existing one. So I'm creating the new folder here by the name Rome, and share this folder. Right click on this folder, click on share with specific people, drag the option, select everyone, add the everyone, automatically is not going to add, and select read and write permission, then click on share and click on done. But remember, this is a network path, /system1/Rome. Maybe in the lab your system names are different, that you have to check. So click on done. Folder is a share, and this folder should be empty share folder. Inside this folder, don't create the files and folders here. Okay, next write down, open the ADUC console. Next point, open the ADUC console, Active Directory users and computers. Open the ADUC console. Then write down next line, right click on user 1 account, click on properties. Right click on user 1 account, click on properties. Right click on user 1 account, click on properties. So once you click properties here, one new page will open, and in this page we can find so many tabs like journal, address, account. At the same time we have one option, that is a profile tab. So write down, select the profile tab, select the profile tab. So once you select this profile tab here, you can find here we have user profile, and in that we have profile path. By default this box is empty. If the profile path box is empty, so it means the user is carrying local profile, but we have to fill this box. We have to type the UNC path. So please write down, type the profile path dash, type the profile path dash, please write down this complete command, /sys1, write down this complete command, this one, /sys1 /Rome, share folder name ROM, name should be correct, then / username user1, and click on apply and click on OK. /system1 sys1 /Rome /user1 and click on apply. OK. Right, now once you click apply, your job is done. So here I am typing here, you can type this command in capital letters, small letters, no problem. /system1 / share folder name Rome / we are in the user1 properties, so we have to type the username user1, then click on apply and click on OK. Job is done. Now write down verification. In system to client computer, in system to client computer, log in as a user1 user. In system to client computer, log in as a user1 user. Okay, next point write down, create some data on desktop. Create some data on desktop. Desktop means your profile items here. Okay, create some data on desktop. Create some data on desktop. Desktop means document, videos, music, picture, create anywhere. Okay, or you can change the wallpaper. Then write down next line, check the type of profile. Check the type of profile. Check the type of profile dash roaming. Check the type of profile dash roaming. Okay, so when you check the type of profile, already we know the method and procedure, right? By the same method, same procedure, we have to follow steps and check the type of profile here. So I'm going for verification now. If already user working on client machine, tell to the user sign out and sign in, then your profile will convert to local to roaming. So I'm logging as a user here, user 1, enter. So now as a user on desktop, can I create some new files here? Yes, we can create the new files, we have option. Okay, can I change the wallpaper here? Yes, so I'm going to here, large and small, go to the change desktop backgrounds. I'm not having some pictures here. I will change the colors for this user. So I'm selecting here this color. Okay, so color is changed. So can I go to my other items of profile? Can we store some data? So example, as a user, I'm downloading some applications from internet. So these applications are going to store in download folder in which account? User 1 account here, right? So this one. So the profile contains this many items here. But now tell me, how to know? Right now as a user, I'm carrying local profile or roaming profile here. By using control panel. So right, we have to open the control panel as a user. Then in search box, what we have to type? Profile. Then we have to click on configure advanced user profile properties. And now you can observe here what is showing here. The user 1 profile is what type is? Roaming. Status is roaming. If the type and status is roaming, so 100% your user profile is roaming. So next day, if this machine is not working, so as a user 1, can I log into other computer? Can I find the existing profile? Yes, I can find the same profile. I can find same desktop data is available because my profile is storing in server once I sign out, once I log off here, right? So this is you have to check in the lab, okay? But in the real time, when you go to the interview, it is asking one question. Sir, I'm facing some error in roaming profile. And maybe this error, you also will face in the labs also when you're doing the practical. So here, I'm giving the error, I'm giving the solution. So please in the lab, if you face this error, don't ask to the lab faculty, sir, please come here, solve my problem here. Because I want you have to become yourself best administrator. And I want you have to solve your problem yourself without taking off other help. Because till now we are dependent on others. If you face any problem, anything, we have a good knowledge, we have a good skill also, but we don't want to use our skill to solve the problem. Because we don't want to give the burden to our brain. Because we are using in other ways there, okay? So we want to solve our problem ourselves. So think it and try to solve the problem. But I'm giving the error here, I'm giving the answer to you. So what is the type here? Roaming. Status is what? Roaming. If the type and status is roaming, so 100% your profile is roaming profile. But sometime, somewhere, you will face the problem. What problem? When you're checking the type of profile, so type is roaming, status is local. Type is roaming. Status is what? Local. So what is the meaning of this one? So still your profile is local here. Still your profile is local, right? Your profile is not roaming. Still your profile is local. If your type is roaming, status is what? Local. So still your profile is what here? Local. So where is the problem here? How to troubleshoot? So the troubleshooting is what? Here, maybe this folder, right, is not shared. The folder is not shared. Maybe it's not shared with everyone, read and write. So make the correction. If it is not shared, share the folder with everyone, read and write. Okay, if the folder is shared, everything is okay, then go to the user properties and check the path. Check the profile path. Maybe the slashes are wrong. Maybe system name is wrong. Maybe right slashes are wrong, or share folder name is wrong, spelling is wrong, or maybe username is wrong. Make the correction. And make the correction in the share folder or make the correction in the path. Then after the correction is done, now come back, sign out this client user in the client machine and again sign in. So once you sign in, so now if you check the type of profile, it will show you roaming and roaming here, right? So please remember here, if the type is roaming, status is roaming, your profile is what here? Roaming. If the type is roaming, status is local, so still your profile is local, so configuration problem is there. Maybe share folder is not shared, or maybe path is wrong here, right? It's easy, troubleshooting is there, right? You have to make this one. Now, after my job is done as a user one, can I sign out this machine? Yes, right? So my profile is storing local hard disk or in server hard disk here? Server. If you want to know, Go to the server, and you can see here, if you open this folder, which folder? Rom share folder. You can see here automatically one folder is created by the name of user1.v2. v2 means version 2 here, right? But try to understand this one. If the profile is local, what is the folder name? User. If the profile is roaming, what is the folder name? user1.v2. So whenever you're writing MCSC exam or interview, one question is there, is asking, sir, how to identify, right, by using user profile folder, whether the user is carrying local profile or roaming. So it's giving two folders to you. One is user1 and one is user1.v2. So it is asking, sir, mark it which folder is called roaming profile folder. So you have to say what here? User1.v2 folder is called what here? Roaming profile folder here, right? But remember here, this roaming profile folder, user1 folder, is secure. One user cannot access other user. As admin also, we cannot access this folder because this is a user profile here. Okay, one. So till now we have done roaming profile. Now always my user has to use the same machine to access roaming profile, or other machine also we can use other machine. So next day the user don't want to use this machine, user want to log into other machine. Can we log into other machine? Yes, but right now in our class, in our lab, we are not having other client machine. If you have, you can go, you can log in. But for testing purpose, I want to log in as a user in server. Can we log in? Yes, but we have to give allow log on local permission by using group policy. But in the real time, we have number of clients. You can log into any machine and you can check your existing desktop. You can check your profile. But here, I want to allow the user to log in. So which policy we have to use to allow the user log in DC? Default domain policy or domain controller? Default domain controller policy. So right click on default domain controller policy and click on edit. And here we have to go to the computer configuration first, right? Open, you can open from here also, double click. Then in computer configuration we have to open policies. We have to open Windows settings. So we have to open the security settings, and in that we have to go to the local policies. In that we have to go to user right assignment, and in that we have to use allow log on locally and click on properties, add the user in the list. Click on add, click on browse and type the username, that is user1. Then check names, click OK, accept it, click OK. User1 is added, click on apply, OK. Then close this window and update the policy. Don't forget that GP update. Now after update the policy, assume it for 1 minute this is the client machine, and today user want to use this machine. Can we use? Yes, but user will get new profile or existing profile? Existing profile. So assume it this is a client machine, the user want to log in here. So I am switching this administrator. Press Ctrl or delete, go to other. We logged as a, sorry, not admin, user1. Password is blank, enter. So see here, the request is going to server, and the server is giving instruction. So don't create the new profile for user. User should have already profile, and the user should get existing profile. Are you finding same desktop? Yes, and you can find the same desktop data also. Are you finding same desktop data? Yes. Now can I delete some files? So as admin, I want to user, I want to delete these two files. Can I create the new files here? Yeah, we can create the new files, like I'm creating the image files here. Can I change the wall desktop icons here? Yes. Can I change the wallpaper? Yes, we can change. So this time can I selecting the blue color here? Done, right? Now after my job is done, can I sign out this machine? Yes, so once you sign out, this profile is going to store in server. But next day, the user is saying, sir, I don't want to use this computer. Or maybe this machine is busy with other user. So as a user, I want to log into other computer. Can we log into other computer? Yes, so I want to go to the next machine, this machine. So once I sign in here, so user 1 is getting existing profile or the same profile? You will get the existing profile. So if you change the computer also, you can find the same wallpaper, same desktop and same desktop data there. So actually my machine has become slow here, so that's why it's taking some time. Otherwise, once you hit enter, you can log in and you can check your existing. Okay, but the user one, now you can find here as administrator we created the roaming profile for user one. But what about the user 2? If the user 2 is logging to any client machine, the user 2 is carrying roaming profile or local profile? Local. But the user 2 also is coming and your manager also is coming, is requesting to you, sir, create the roaming profile for user 2. Can we create the roaming profile for user 2? Yes. But we require one more share folder, or this one is enough? This one is enough. We don't need to create multiple share folders. But remember here, in this share folder we are keeping the multiple user profiles, but the profiles are secure. One user cannot access other user profile, so we no need to create one more share folder. Already we have. Just what we have to do, we have to go to the user 2 properties, right, and in profile path, in profile path we have to set the path. So what we have to set the path here, // use system1, right, that is next share folder name roam, then single // we are in user 2 properties, user 2, and click on OK. So once you click OK, next day when the user 2 is logging to this client machine, right, so automatically in server, in this share folder, one folder will create by the name of user2.v2 here, right. So it means now I created the roaming profile for user 1 and user 2. So these users can log into any client machine. The user can access existing profile there. Okay. So still this is taking some time here. So this you have to check one. So till now we have seen two things here. What is profile and what is local and what is a roaming. Now come to the next topic. Write down the heading. Home folders. Please copy this slide. is done, finished. Now what is home folder here? First of all, the home folder is a network drive. Home folder is a network drive. You can say network drive or network location drive also. Okay. Now the last class we discussed one network drive. That is a map network drive, right? But what is map network drive? The user want to access a share folder as a drive in the local computer, in the local specific computer, right? And who has to create the map network drive? User itself. User itself. As admin, we are not creating, just we are guiding to the user, and the user itself is creating the map network drive. But the share folder, particular share folder, user is making as a drive, that is called map network drive here. Okay. But this time the home folder also is a network drive, but this drive is given by your system administrator, is given by system admin and to a specific user. Only that user can see and that user can access, other user cannot see, other user cannot access here, right? And the next good thing is what? In map network drive, the user, whenever the user change the computer, user will not get automatically share folder as a map network drive. User has to create. But this home folder network drive, whenever the user change the computer, that user can find automatically the drive is connected, and you can find the same drive data, and this drive data is going to store in server, So that's why it's written here, home folder network drive is a centralized location for user files. All the user files, user is storing in one drive, and this drive data is storing in server. And the home folder network drive make it easy for administrator also to take the backup of the user files, right? We can sit on server, we can take the backup. We no need to go to every machine to take the backup here. And the next is what here? Whenever the user log on to any computer in the domain in our network, the home folder network drive is available in the form of network drive, and the user can access from anywhere. And whenever we give this drive to a specific user, only that user can access, other user cannot access. And this map network drive I can give to, this home folder network drive I can give to roaming profile users also. I can give to the local profile user also. There is no restriction. If my user 1 is saying, sir, I need home folder network drive also, I need roaming profile, both options we require. You can give both. If the user 3, example, the user 3 is carrying local profile, and the user 3 is saying, sir, I don't want roaming profile, sir, I want only home folder network drive, and this drive only for me, not for other users, right? And this drive is secure for me, right? And this drive data should be secure, and this drive data has to store in server. So we can design the home folder network drive for a specific user. Okay. So example here, we have this many users here, but example my user 3 is coming, is saying, sir, we need home folder network drive, sir. So whenever as a user 3, if I log on to this machine, so as a user 3, I can store the data in local hard disk, like in C drive or E drive. But tell me, this C drive, E drive data is secure for user 3? No, user 3 is not requesting this time for roaming profile, is requesting for drive. So user 3 is requesting to me, sir, whenever the user 4 is logging, user 5 is logging, that user also can access my data, that user also can access my data, I can copy the data, I can delete the data, I can corrupt the data. That is not secure. So now the user 3 is requesting, sir, I need one drive, example Z drive. And this drive data, whenever I am storing, first of all, this drive data has to store in server. Okay. And this drive only for me. Next day, if I am logging as a user in this machine, if the user 4 is logging or 5 is logging, so that user should not get this drive. Which drive here? Z drive. That user should access only local drive here. Okay. So this drive only for user 3. And the user 3 next day is saying, sir, next day this machine is not working, or I am changing the machine. Whenever I log into the system 4 client as a user 3, I want my drive has to be connect automatically, right? And the same data also will be there. And whenever again I am doing some changes here, this changes automatically has to be updated to the server. And we no need to sign out. We no need to sign out, we no need to log off, automatically this drive data will be updated to server. So if I am giving that particular drive to particular user, only to a specific user, and accessing from the network, so this is called what? Network drive, right? One. But to create the network drive for user as admin, what we have to do? Here also we have 3 requirements. So first we need user accounts, 1, and this drive data is storing in server. So in server we require one share folder, and create the new share folder. So this time I am creating one new share folder by the name home. And when you're sharing this folder, give the permission common, everyone read and write. And if you're worried about the security, right, you're saying, sir, you're going for everyone read and write, that is not good. So do one thing, give the $ symbol after the folder name and then share it. So this folder is called what here? Hidden share folder. Already we know this one, how to do it. So you can share the folder with dollar symbol. That is called hidden share folder, or you can share with normal here, right? But when you're giving dollar, when you're giving the path, you have to give the dollar sign also there, okay? So two things are completed. One is user account, one is a share folder. And remember here, this folder should be empty share folder. Inside this share folder, don't create the files and folders here, okay? Next, what we have to do. Now, as admin, go to ADUC console, go to the user 3 properties. In user 3 properties, we have to set the home folder path. Now, how to set the home folder path here? So, go to the user 3 account. In user 3 account, if you go to the properties, you can find two options. One is profile path and one is home folder. In profile path, one is home folder. So, this time, which one you require? We require home folder. We not require profile path here. So this time we are going for home folder. But when you're going for home folder, in home folder we have two options. One is called local path and one is called connect. If I select local path, the user cannot access this user cannot access this drive from any machine. So the user has to use a specific computer only to access this drive here. But it's not good. So I'm going for the second option, that is what here? Connect. If I select connect here, so it means I'm giving the task to the user, I'm giving the option to the user can log into any machine and user drive will be connected and user can access. So the connect option is best. And next is what is asking drive letter here. Give any drive letter. So I'm giving the drive letter is what? Z. Then is asking 2. In 2 is asking the path. Here we have to give the path // system1 UNC path system1 / share folder name. What is the share folder name? Home. Then single / your user name, that is user 3, and click on OK. So once you click OK, your home folder path is set for user 3 there. Okay. So please write down our next lab. Creating home folder for home folder network drive. Creating home folder network drive for user 3. Creating home folder network drive for user 3. You can give this network drive to any user, but for practically in our class, I am giving to user 3 here. Or you can give to multiple user also, no problem there. So write down steps in system1 server. In system1 server, login as an administrator. In system1 server, login as a administrator. Next point, open the E drive. Open the E drive, create one new share folder. Don't use the existing one, create the new share folder. Open the E drive and create one new share folder by the name home. Create one new share folder by the name home. Dash permission everyone read and write. Create one new share folder by the name home dash permission everyone read and write. So when you're sharing the folder, you have to give the common permission. You have to give everyone read and write there. Okay. And this folder should be empty share folder. Inside this folder, don't create the subfolders or files there. Next, write down. Open the ADUC console, Active Directory users and computers. Open the ADUC console, Active Directory users and computers. The next point, write down. Right click on user 3 account, click on properties. Right click on user 3 account, click on properties. So right click on user 3 account, click on properties. Then write down, select the profile tab. Next line, select the profile tab and select the home folder. select the profile tab, select the home folder and select the connect. Select the profile tab, select the home folder and select the connect. So in home folder we have to select what? Connect option. Okay. So in home folder we have to select connect. Then write down next line. Select the drive letter Z, but don't select the drive letter C or E or D because we already used in our network, so that will be conflict for you. Select the drive letter Z. Okay. Next line, 2 dash. Write down this path. 2 dash double backslash system1 slash home slash user 3. Double backslash sys1 single backslash share folder name home HOME, then single backslash user 3 and click on apply and click on OK. Okay, so when you're typing the path, type the correctly, double backslash system1 single backslash home slash user 3 and apply OK. So once you click apply OK, your job is successfully done, right? Then write down verification. Now first we'll complete this configuration, then we'll go for verification here. You can see here in this computer, you can observe here in this computer I logged as a user 3, and if I go to the computer, are you finding local drives here? Yes. But are you finding any home folder network drive here? No. Till now we not given. Once you given, you can find them. So I'm going to the server, open the computer, open the E drive and create one new share folder here. I'm creating by the name home, or you can create by any name, no problem, and share this folder with the common permission, everyone read and write, then share, done. Okay, and this folder should be empty share folder. Next we have to open the ADUC console, right click on user 3 account, click on properties, select the profile path, right, then profile tab. In that we have to go for home folder. In home folder we have to select connect and select the drive letter anyone. So I'm selecting the Z and 2 dash double backslash system1 slash share folder name home slash user 3. Okay, so just apply. Okay, done. Now go to the client machine if already user is working. So tell to the user set please sign out and again sign in. These changes will take effect here. So we logged as a user 3 here. If I go to the computer, and now you can find your network location drive, network drive, and we given to user 3. The drive letter is what? Z, and you can find this is a path here. Okay, but in case if I sign out this machine, if I log in as a other user, example user 2 or user 1. Now if I go to the computer, so if you go to the computer here, can you find the network drive? No, it's not available because we given the network drive only to user 3. Only the user 3 can access, and from anywhere in the network, from any machine in the network here. And the second thing is secure, only the user 3 can access, and the user 3 can access this data here. So if I go to the computer, I logged as user 3, I can find network home folder, network drive. Can you open, can we access? Yes. So please write down verification. In system to client computer, in system to client computer, in system to client computer, log in as a user 3. In system to client computer, log in as a user 3. The next point write down. Open the computer, and access the home folder network drive Z drive, and access the home folder network drive Z drive. Access the home folder network drive Z drive and store some data. Access the home folder network drive Z drive and store some data. Space is what? How much space? User is getting how much space here? 78.1 GB. So user is getting from server. Yeah, from server. Yes. Now see here, I am storing some data here. I logged here. I can store the data, and this data, now tell me, is going to store in local hard disk or in server hard disk? And without sign out, right? If you want to know, go to the server, open the home folder, and you can see here for each user, to how many user given home folder. For each user, one separate folder will create, and in that user data will store here, right? It's not storing in one folder, storing separately in the user accounts here. So you can see, if I open the home folder, are you finding user 3 folder separately created? If I give the home folder to user 4, one separate folder will create for user 4. So user 4 data will store in user 4 account, user 3 data will store in user 3 account. So can I, as admin, we have right to open this folder, we can check what data user is storing, right? And we can take the backup also. But here, you can see here how much data user can store on this drive here. Nearly 78 GB example, okay? And the user is getting this much size from server because the user 3 data is storing in server in home folder in which drive? E drive, and E drive size is what? 78 GB. So the user is getting that much size, and the user can store the data here, okay? So we have this option. Any doubt? And after my job is done, if I sign out, so it's going to store in this data in this machine hard disk or in server hard disk. So next day, if as a user 3, if I change the computer, if I log on to other machine, can you find the same home folder network drive? Can you find the same data? Yes, right? So till now we have discussed 4 things here. First, we discussed what is profile, then what is local, what is roaming, what is home. Yes sir, any question?
Yeah, sir, how about you, if we want to give a restriction like users should only store 2 GB data, is there a way we can do a limitation, put limitations to the user's home drive?
Yes sir, we can do it, but you have to wait for one day. Tomorrow we'll see.
Okay, not
yeah, my student is asking the question, sir, how to restrict the drive size. The user should not get 78 GB. I want to give only 2 GB or 4 GB. Can we do it? Yes, we can do it, but you have to wait for one day. Tomorrow we'll see this one, okay? Now one more small topic we'll discuss, then finish our session. Write down the heading. Groups. Please write down our next one, group. What sir? Very good dot sir, before finishing the session, because after the class my student will come, it will ask this question, but you ask here, that is very good. Now before going this group, the question is what is the difference between roaming profile and home folder? Already we discuss, we attend the session, 1.5 session. Now tell me, you have to tell first, I will make the correction. What is difference? In interview it will ask this question, sir, what is the difference between home folder and roaming profile? Or what is the difference between roaming profile and home folder? Give me the answer please. Roaming profile is what? First tell me. User desktop is called roaming profile. User desktop contain document, pictures, videos, music. That is called what here? Roaming profile. If the user store the data in this many items, not in drives, I am saying, it's going to store in roaming profile, right? In profile data, okay? But what is home folder? Home folder is not a desktop. Home folder is not a profile. Home folder is a drive. If the user is storing the data in drive, then this data is going to store in server. But the home folder data drive, user can access from network. Roaming profile also user can access from network. But difference is there? Yes, is there. What is the difference? Home folder is a drive, but roaming profile is a desktop. Desktop contained so many items there, okay? Any doubt? Now come to the next one, that is what? Group. So write down the heading, group, and please write down one point there. Group is a collection of users Group is a collection of users. Group is a collection of users. Next point. By using group, we can apply permission on network resources. By using group, we can apply permission on network resources. By using group, we can apply permission on network resources. So what is the meaning of network resources, please? Printer, scanner, drive, share folder, security folder, your file, your application, your computer. It's called what here? Network resources. On network resources, if you want to apply permission, we can take the help of group here. Okay. So please write down next point, types of groups. The first one, write down security group. Second one is distribution group. First one is what here? Security group. Second one is what? Distribution group. Okay. Besides security group, if you have space, otherwise in next line you can write down. Security group is used for to apply permission on network resources. Security group is used for to apply permission on network resources. So if you want to apply permission on network resources means maybe a printer, maybe a scanner, maybe a computer, maybe a drive, maybe a share folder, maybe a security folder, maybe a file. If you want to apply permission on network resources, we have to take the help of security group. Next, write down distribution group. Distribution group is used for to create a group of email IDs in mail server. Distribution group is used for to create email IDs in mail server. Distribution group is used for to create email IDs in mail server. So remember here, difference is there. Security group is used for what purpose? For resources, for network resources, right? But distribution group is used for mail server. In mail server, when you're creating group of email IDs, so that time we require distribution group. But today we are not learning what is mail server, right? But if anyone is asking, sir, what is distribution group? You have to say, sir, it's a group is used for to create a group of email IDs in mail server. So now tell me, according to our diagram, our scenario, which one we require? Security group or distribution group? We require security because we are applying permission on computers, share folders, security folders, or file or application. We require security group, right? But whenever you're creating the groups here, whenever you're creating the group is asking the same time, you have to go for this option that is called group scope here. So please write down group scope, and in that write down three options are there: domain, local. Second one, 1 minute please. First one is domain local, second one is global, third one is universal. Okay, any one option you can select. When you're going for security group or distribution group, with that you can select any one option. What option? Maybe domain local or global or universal. But I will give you what is domain local, what is global, and what is universal. That is easy for you. But try to understand this one, because till now we not completed Active Directory some topics. If we completed, then we can understand. But easily you can know that domain local means within my domain. Within my domain, like zoom.com is domain. We have clients. So if I select domain local, my user can log into within the domain any client. and access the share folder. Access the share folder. So this is called what here? Domain local. But if my user is logging to within my organization, I have multiple domains. I have multiple domains. Other domains are there, like MCSC one domain, which is working under zoom.com. CCNA is one domain which is working on zoom.com. If my user is going to that domain clients logging, the user cannot access the resources. But I want to allow my user to log into other domains also in my organization, in my forest. Organization means forest. In my forest, log into other domain to access the resources. Then we have to go for global. If I select global, so my user can access the share folder from other domains in my forest here, right? But we have one more option here, multiple forest. Multiple forest means, example, your organization is having one company and my organization is having one company, and we have domains. Your organization is separate domain, my organization is separate domain. Can we create the trust between two different domains? Yes. And once I create the trust between two different domains, my domain user can log into your domain and your domain user can log into my domain. But that time I want to allow my user to access your network resources. So then we have to go for universal. So by using universal, I can allow the user to access the resources from other network forest domains. Other network forest domains. So we have three options. Domain local means within the domain. Global means between multiple domains within the forest. Universal means what here? Between two different forest domains, user can log in, access the resource. That is called what here? Universal. But any one option you can select, you can go for that. But when we require groups here, that is very important. Example, in my server, I want to create one share folder for my users. So one day my boss is saying, sir, in server, create one share folder for my users. But here my task is what? In my network, I have nearly 100 users here. How many users here? 100. Now, tell me, when I'm sharing the folder, at a time, can we allow all 100 users to access the share folder? Yes. Best option is what? Everyone read and write. If I give everyone read and write, so my job is easy. Within a click, I have given the permission, user can access. But my job is not everyone here. My task is what? Different user, different permission here. But group of users, not a single user. So my boss is saying, sir, give the permission to user 1 to user 10 to access the share folder with the permission of read. And give the permission from user 121 to user 40 to access the share folder with the permission of read and write. So then what? Everyone is best or find people is best? Find people. If I give for find people, I have to type the username, then I have to select what? Read. Like this I have to type second user, select the read. Like this we have to add how many users? 10 users, select the read. So now tell me, is easy job for you now? No. So one number of time we have to add the users, number of time we have to select read. And the second thing, your list will become lengthy here. After that, you can go for next user. What is user 21? Select what? Read and write. Then user 22, read and write. So like this, how many users? 20 users, up to 40. Right? Then read and write. So now tell me, your list is very lengthy or not here? And number of times you are adding the users, number of times you are selecting read and write here. So it's not easy. So then Microsoft is saying, sir, if you want to save your time and when you're giving the permissions, so do one thing, don't add the single users here. Don't add these single users. If you're going for, you're wasting your time, you're not doing easy and centralized management. So this time what we have to do, we have to go to ADUC console and create the groups. So you can create the group by any name. I'm creating the group 1 and add these 10 users in group 1, and like this create the group 2 and add this 21 user to 14 group 2, right? So user 1 to 10 is having membership in group 1, user 21 to user 40 is having membership in group 2. So now share the folder. When you're sharing the folder, select find people, but don't type the username, type the group name. So type the group name group 1 and give the permission read. So now tell me, now how many user is having right to access this share folder now? All 10 users. How many users is having membership in group 1? That many user can access the share folder or not here? Now in future, I want to give the permission to some other users. So I have to go to the file server, I have to go to the share folder to give the permission? No need. Just we have to add the users in group 1. Automatically the user is having right to access that share folder. So this is called easy and centralized management we are doing on resources when you're giving the permission by the help of group here. So like this, can we add the group 2 here? Yes. Can we give the permission read and write? Yes. Now example, I have one more share folder by the name of IT project data, one share folder, right? Now one user is working, that is user example 50. Now I want user 50 should access the data share folder also, and the user 50 user should access the project also. So example, on this project only group 2 users are having right, only group 2 users are having right here. So now tell me, so one user can be a member of multiple groups. Example, I am removing this one to avoid this confusion here. So now tell me, can we add, I want to give the chance to user 50 to access data share folder also and IT project data also. So where we have to add this user? We have to add in group 1 also, and we have to add in group 2 also. So it means one user can be a member of multiple, right? Multiple groups here. So now the user 50 is having right to access data share folder also, and user 50 also is having right to access IT project data, because this user in a multiple group. So one user can be a member of multiple groups. You can keep like this, right? So please write down our last lab today, creating group. It's so easy when you're creating the group here. So write down in system1 server, login as an administrator. In system1 server, login as an administrator. Open the ADUC console. Open the ADUC console. Then write down next line, right click on users container, click on new. Right click on users container, click on new. And this time what? After new, we have to go to group. Click on group. Right click on users container, click on new, and click on group. So once you click group here, you can see here is asking the group name. Give any name. So write down group name dash GP1 dash users. Group name GP1 dash users. Okay, or you can give your own names. There's no problem there. And you can see here, just we have to click on OK. So write down, click on OK. Your group is created. But here, before clicking OK, check this. Type is what here? Security that we require. And group scope option, domain, local, global, universal, which one you like, you can go. I'm going for default. Okay. So once I click OK, you can see one group is created. But in this group, no one is a member. We have to add. So write down next line. Select the multiple users. Select the multiple users. Right click on users and click on add to a group. Select the multiple users. Right click on users. Right click on users and click on add to a group. Right click on users and click on add to a group. Now once you click this add to a group here, right, is asking the object name. Object means group name. What is the group name? GP1 dash user. So write down, type the group name dash GP1 dash users. Type the group name dash GP1 dash users and click on OK. Type the group name dash GP1 dash users and click on OK. So once you click OK, 2 times OK. Click OK, and it's giving the message, the added group operation was successfully completed. Now I want to know, in this group how many users are there? Membership is there. Right click on this group, go to the properties, go to the members, and you can see this many users. Can we add the users from here also? Yes, we can add. Example, I want to add to John also here. Right, we can add from here. Like this, can we create one more group? Can we add the John in that group also? Yes. So one user can be a member of multiple group, because the group is the object. Group is a object. Now how to give the permission by using this group? Now see here, I'm going to E drive. I'm creating one new share folder here. So example, by the name of data, I want to share this folder. Already we know this one. So share this folder, but this time we have to select what? Find people, and don't type the single user. Type what here? Group name. GP1 dash user. Accept it? Yes. And click OK, and give the permission what you like. Right? Then share, and then click on done. So now tell me, how many users is having right to access this share folder? 4 users. This 4 user can access. This is called what here? Giving the permission by using group here. Okay? So so today we are winding up our class here, and we've seen 4 topics today. First we discuss what is profile, then we discuss local, profile, roaming, home folder, group. Yes sir, any question?
Can you add distribution list to a security group?
Can you add
DS to a security group?
list, sir? That we can do it, but not groups. Okay? So thank you very much for today's session, and tomorrow we are discussing our new topic of 2012 FSRM service and OUs, right? And we have other topic also. We are going to complete this one. So thank you very much for today's session, sir. Yeah, Zubair, any question?
Yeah, I have one small question that is not regarding the subject we cleared today. That's all good. My only concern is I have a system wherein I use 32 operating system. So I'm unable to install the VMware because that is 64.
Okay.
Do we have 32-bit VMware available?
Sir, in your laptop, which operating system you are using? Sorry, your voice is breaking.
I'm using Windows 7.
Windows 7 you are using, okay?
Yes.
So you can do one thing, install the VMware 10 version or 11 version. In Google you can check. Don't install the 12 and 14. Install 11 or 10. Then you can do this stuff. Okay.
Okay, sir. Thank you, sir.
Yeah, bye. See you tomorrow.
Bye, sir.